we're going to take you through all 5 of the fish tanks in our Chicago apartment.
And we're going to do it tank by tank. First up is the big tank. It's a 40-gallon breeder tank, and it's live planted. We got a bunch of plants in here, some really cool driftwood, which I found from near the Chicago River in Chicago here. There's sponge filters, keeping it going, and a lot of cleaning crew because it's in a corner here with a lot of sunlight.
We got a lot of little guys working hard in here to keep the tank clean.
But first, let's talk a little bit about Eldrick, our gold gourami, and sort of the centerpiece of this tank.
He is definitely the star of the tank. He is the biggest fish in the tank. We have had him as long as we have had fish tanks, and he is a beautiful boy.
He really is.
He's so big. He's like the size of, I don't know, my palm. Like we said, he's a gold gourami, so he has those funny little ventral fins that are like his little arms / taste buds that he pokes around with.
He kind of like bops other fish and other things.
He doesn't do that as much as he used to. He did that more when he was a little baby. He had the biggest orange eyes, and his eyes have remained the same size, but the rest of him has gotten very
so
large.
Much bigger.
He has a lot of personality. He's very curious. Anytime you enter this room, our living room, he will come to the corner of the tank and just kind of stare at you like, what's up?
Yeah, you got food?
Are you food?
This is food time, right?
Dish food?
Gold gouramis can be kind of aggressive, but they're not aggressive with the massive cleaning crew in this tank. And that's what we'll go to next.
We've got 4 Corydoras loaches. They are about a year old, and we don't see them a ton during the day because they like to be in the dark.
Yeah, they're pretty nocturnal, and ever since we put a tube down the middle of the tank that you can see here, they spend most of their time in the back of that tube.
Yeah, which we assumed and had confirmed when Jim set up like a baby monitor night vision cam, and we caught them coming in and out of the tube, so that is where they live. They do also bury under the substrate as well. Early days of fish keeping for us, we were like, did they die? Where are they? And they were just fully burrowed under the substrate because they're little wormy guys.
Then we have 5 baby albino bristlenose plecos in here.
Yes.
We're growing them up to breed them. They're so cute right now, but growing so fast because of all the algae that grows in this tank.
And you can literally see their tummies are full of algae. They are so cute. They're small enough that like when they eat, their faces look like Muppets kind of.
A little
like,
scrunched up.
They make little munch faces, especially when they like go along like that big branch.
And these albino bristlenose don't get as big as a traditional pleco. These are more like 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
Now this is definitely still too many of them once they're full size in this tank, but our plan is to breed some of them and separate them.
Next on the list is our autosyncluses. We have 6 to 8.
Yeah, they
of
were some of
those,
our very
I think.
first cleaning crew.
Yes.
A bunch of Corydoras.
Oh, yes.
Which we love. And
we have a real soft spot for Corydoras.
We have more in other tanks, and we'll get to that later. But we have panda Corys, which are more nocturnal, which you can see in some of our baby night cam footage.
Yes.
And then we also have Corydoras aeneas, which are like the green bronze Corys, and their albino counterparts.
Yeah, so we love these guys. They have the cutest barbels. They're like whiskers on the front of their face that help them root around for food and taste things.
And then the last 2 cleaning crew are the most energetic and the most visible fish in this whole tank, really. And that is our Pakistani loach, Nelson, and our YoYo Loach, Duncan.
They are slightly different loaches, but we got Duncan first, and then we got Nelson. They're such energetic guys. They zip all over the tank. And a really fun thing they do, they have like these brooms on the front of their mouths. Those are like their barbels, their bristles. They love to go right to the top of the tank, and they make this like noise because they're sucking algae like off the spangle. We will be sitting on the couch, and then we're like, is that bubble wrap? And they're like, no, that's the tank. Like,
that's the loaches.
It sounds like bubble wrap popping.
Yeah.
Because they're snacking, and then you look over and they're just like dangling from the spangle. It's really cute.
They'll also chew a ton of holes in all of these plants to my a little bit
chagrin.
Annoyance. Yeah, it's fine in here. I'm happy to have them snack. And lastly, in this tank, we have sort of the top dwellers of the tank, and that's going to be black neon tetras, Kier, and Miss Cobell.
Yes, if you're Severance fans, you will recognize those names.
Yes, Kier, chosen one, Kier. And then we have 4 Serpy tetras.
Yes.
Who are little mob bosses of the tank.
They're the Sopranos of the tank. They just always have these like sort of classic grumpy looking faces.
And then the black mollies are just cute little top dwellers. So yeah, that's the big tank, and now we'll move on to a tank next to this tank here, and that's our shrimp tank.
This is our shrimp tank, and we have cherry shrimp in here. We started out with 6 cherry shrimp. One of those 6 was a female that we realized about 2 weeks after we got them was pregnant. And the way you know is the females carry like 30 little gold eggs under their tummies with like their little shrimp fins. It was crazy. She carried those around for like a whole month.
And the whole time juggled them.
Yes, she did.
In order to keep fungus off them.
We came back from a wedding after being away for like a day. All of a sudden, like my eyes focused on the rest of the tank and I saw tiny little shrimp all over the tank on the Sagittaria plants. I think we have about 30.
And when they get too big or there's too many in here, we're going to sell them. A little bit about setting up this tank. Nothing super fancy here, mostly just like what will they love. So it is live planted. I just took like regular outside dirt, which I found to be best in these live planted tanks. And then I put down some black sand because the shrimp like to have sand, and I just thought the black would look cool with the red shrimp because they'll stand out.
It does look cool.
There's tons of dwarf Sagittaria, and then Christmas moss, which are 2 plants that the shrimp just love. So when they were dropped in there, they were like yum, yum, yum buffet. And that's why this tank just sort of sustains itself.
Yeah, because the only fish we have in this tank are a little group of chili rasboras. They pose absolutely no threat to the shrimp and they keep to themselves. Other than that, you can just leave this tank alone, other than like keeping it clean and like water changes and whatever. But the shrimp look busy all day long.
So busy.
They look like they're like calculating numbers or like doing a spell or like gardening. Like they always just look busy, and they're munching away on biofilm and algae, and also those Sagittaria plants. They eat them. They love them.
So that's the shrimp tank, and now we're going to head down the hall to the river tank.
Okay, the river tank is a long rectangular tank that sits in a windowsill, and it is colder in temperature than the rest of our tanks.
Yep, it sits around 65 to 70 room temp. We wanted to do that, and we wanted to have this be kind of a Chicago River inspired tank, obviously with not Chicago River fish. Fish in here are white cloud mountain minnows.
They are, because they thrive at this temperature. There are Chicago River plants in this tank.
So all these plants in here are Ludwigia repens.
Jim spent a long time setting up these tanks, partially by going to the actual Chicago River, which we happen to live near, and he would bring back plants and rocks and branches, but he was separating these plants. And it turns out they are a very popular aquarium plant that you can buy. So we got them for free.
And we are propagating them in here. You can kind of see here, try to show you. What I'll do is I'll cut off one after I let it go. This one needs to be cut and repropagated, but that's just the start of one of these. But yeah, so that's a little river tank. It's got the Chicago River plants, cold water fish, and it's just a really nice little add-on.
Honestly, it's got really good vision and execution.
Well, thank you. And that's it for the river tank. Now we'll head down the hall to the freak tank.
This tank we lovingly call the freak tank, mainly because Pierre, the mystery snail, is in here.
And he's a little freak.
He's a little freak, like the most amazing freak who I'm obsessed with and love so much.
We did a whole video on him, which we'll try to link here.
He is the weirdest little dude. He basically spends his days either asleep, curled up in like the weirdest possible positions, or he is just roaming around every inch of this tank and doing like gentle parkour. Moving on, we also have our sweet little girl, Fogle.
Fogelina.
Fogelina ballerina.
So we named this fish Fogle when we thought she was a male honey gourami.
Yes, and it turned out both of those were wrong.
Yes, so this is in fact a sunset thick-lipped gourami, and it is a female.
She has the most personality of any of our fish, and therefore we've just absolutely fallen completely in love with her.
She recognizes us.
Yeah, Yeah, she's kind of like a puppy.
Yeah.
She sits. So she will like sit on her fin. Anytime you're cleaning the tank or vacuuming the tank, she always wants to like kiss your fingers and your arms. And so we do fingy time with her.
Yeah.
Hi, Boober. Yeah. Hi, Bubba. Hi, sweetie. We also have 2 leer-tail mollies in here. These are 2 males. This is Francois and Moontail. Moontail because tail shaped like a moon.
Then we have 4 ember tetras, little tiny orange guys. And then there's Corys in here. This is one of our main Cory tanks. So we have 6 reticulated Julie Corys in here that have been breeding lately, and we've been finding eggs on some of these plants. Then we have 3 violet Corys, which are new, a little bit smaller with that purple tail.
They have the most beautiful coloring. They look like purple frosted glass.
Yeah. And then Ray, our albino bristlenose that's full size now.
Yes.
And he's the male bristlenose that we're going to try to mate with one of these other ones.
He's very cute. He hangs upside down from almond leaves, tries to make himself become a leaf on the sword plant. He will also go in his pleco hide, only have his tail sticking out, and be doing like happy little tippy taps with his fins that he's like hiding.
Yeah. And then Fogle will come over and mess with him when his head's in the tube.
Yeah.
And they do this sort of game.
Yeah, it's really funny because neither of them stops doing it, which they would do if it was like bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fogle will come over and either like tap Ray with her ventral fin, or she'll like kiss him on the tail, and then like Ray will like zip out back in and zip out and back in, and they'll just like cause a commotion, and then she'll go in a circle and Fogle will come around and do it again. It's really cute.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the freak tank, and you may have noticed that some of the Corys from our other Cory video are not in this tank anymore. And this is just like a sad part of fish keeping. 2 of our fish, Beef and Whopper Jr., did die while mating. So in that other Cory breeding video, they were the 2 fish that were breeding and producing those first babies. And they were thriving in this tank. They started mating again, and as they got bigger, we didn't realize that they actually like hurt themselves.
Some of the edges in the tank were maybe a little bit too sharp. There was just one very aggressive breeding.
So what we really learned through that process was certain types of Corys are just bigger, more aggressive fish. And Corydoras and Neas, especially the females, get huge. You just got to be careful.
They'll push a wafer into a bad crevice and then like not abandon it. They just don't know their own strength.
And because of what we learned from that situation, if you look to the right over here, we have our 5th tank and our bonus tank.
So in the 5th tank, we have all Corys and 1 bristlenose pleco. We've got Randy and Stan, which are our 2 female bronze Corys in here. We also have the Professor, who is an albino Cory. We have another little bronze Cory guy in here who we have yet to name. And we have Casper, who is a little baby bristlenose pleco.
And probably the most interesting fish in here is Stan, who is actually the baby of Beef and Whopper Jr. from the other tank. So their legacy lives on, and it's in this huge fish.
She is enormous, and I say every day to her, Stan, you were an egg.
Yep, this is a fish that we saw from egg to fish.
Yeah, and she's so big, she's so healthy, and she's such a beautiful girl.
And right next door is the bonus tank on the map, which is this little cube tank that we found necessary because the female Corys eat way more than the male Corys. So when we're growing them up, sometimes you need to separate them.
Yeah, Randy and Stan were kind of pushing the boys away from the food. So Butters and Ike, the 2 guys we have in their own little tank so we can fatten them up while they grow. So those are all 5 of our tanks, plus the bonus tank that we have in our Chicago apartment. Each one is unique and special in its own way, but we love them all equally.
And if you stuck all the way around to the end, I have yet another little bonus tank that we're going to do more videos and stuff about. And this is the beginning of our Cory breeding operation.
So we've got eggs from our reticulated Julies and from our bronze Corys in here as well.
And this whole setup back here is a work in progress. There'll be more on this in the future.